Hi Taurus, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name's Carol, and this is your very first reading from me on this channel because it's a brand new channel. So this channel is all about shadow work. It's all about looking at patterns in your life that are showing up for you and how they're linked to your shadow. And I always looked to the tarot to give you a bit of guidance on what we can do about this pattern that's showing up for you. So yeah, so if you are new to shadow work, or maybe you need a bit more guidance, I'm always going to link above a video that I've done on shadow work, and it includes some of the 4 main things that I really found important to include in my own shadow work journey, and I think you'll find that very helpful. And that is taken from another channel that I do, and it's called Carol Cares. And on that channel, it's for people who are struggling with mental health challenges, whether it's anxiety, depression, getting through your emotions, learning how to journal, learning how to ground. So there's all kinds of videos on that channel. And yeah, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to pull 3 cards for you. And I only want a single card in my first row. If anything else comes up, I won't take it. But I want to look at what pattern is coming up for your life right now, in your life. What shadow aspect is linked to that pattern, and what guidance can I give you? Because in life, we always have, we seem to cycle through patterns, and they're repetitive. And we start to notice that, I always have this issue in my life, or I always have trouble doing this, or, and the reason because that happens is because it's coming from our shadow, and there's something in our shadow that we need to look at and that we need to heal in order to prevent that pattern from repeating itself again. So let's take 3 cards from the tarot. And I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot for this one. I'm going to ask the tarot right now to give me 1 card, tarot. Show me what pattern is showing up right now for you in your life right now, Taurus. 1 card for Taurus, for a pattern that's showing up in their life right now. 1 card. And this one seemed to want to come out. Justice card is showing up for you. The Justice card. And now I want to look at the shadow aspect. The shadow aspect that is the Hermit card for you came up. And guidance. Ooh, that one just... there's 2 here, so I'm going to keep going. If there's 2, I can't take both of them. So what guidance can you give me, tarot? What guidance card can you give me? What guidance card can you give me for Taurus? This one wants to. The 4 of Pentacles. The 4 of Pentacles. All right, I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about this and see where this, and then I'll ask for clarification from the Rider-Waite deck after. So Justice card came up for you for a pattern. Now, whenever the Justice card right here comes up, the Justice card for me means that, and it was upright, so it's telling me that there's some balance that needs to take place in your life. And for me, the balance is, if you look at this card, she has a scale here, first of all, which tells me it's balanced, but she's looking at herself. She can see herself in the mirror here, or maybe it's the water. I'm not exactly sure what she's looking at, but there definitely is a reflection here in this card of herself. Now, this journey, the shadow work journey, is all about going inwards, right? It's all about getting to our unconscious, because we really do live in our head. We live in our conscious mind. And this is about balancing, saying that, you know what? You have to... we have 2 sides to us. We all have a masculine side and we have a feminine side. So every single person on this planet has those 2 sides to them. And it's kind of saying you have to balance out the both of them in order to figure out, like most of us live in our masculine. I mean, the whole world does. It's the ego. We live in our ego. And this feminine part of us that is in all of us, doesn't matter what your gender is hidden. It's very much pushed down. And it always has been. And the feminine is all about, you know, our authentic self. It's all about creativity. It's all about intuition. You know, intuition is our internal guidance system. And the only way we can reach that is if we go inwards. Most of us make our decision from up here, which is not our internal guidance system. And a lot of times it could be the wrong decision because we can tell ourselves anything. And so this card is saying, you know, there's a need for you to go inwards. There's a need for you to go inwards. Maybe you're somebody that lives, you know, makes all your decisions from your head, that's not used to going into your body and trying to find out how you really feel about things, or going into your body to find your internal guidance system, to find all your answers, and you're making all your decisions from your mind. And this one's really saying there needs a balance here. And the pattern is that, you know, maybe the balance is the pattern might be that you live in your head a lot and you need to start going into your body and finding out where, you know, who you are, your authentic self, or your inner guidance. So we'll see how the tarot clarifies that. The Hermit, which is the shadow aspect, what's coming up. Well, the Hermit is about taking time out. And, you know, it kind of makes, it's really telling me that there is a need here for you to take some time out so that you can get some stillness in your life. Maybe there's a lot of distractions around you right now. I know, you know, it's December, but a lot of people have distractions around, you know, sometimes addictions get in the way. We can easily distract ourselves because going into our body and doing shadow work is the last thing that we want to do, really. We don't want to do shadow work. We don't want to feel. We don't want to get into our body because that's where the emotions are, right? And so the Hermit card is saying, you know, it wants you to go inwards to your shadow. It wants you to do your shadow work. It wants you to see what's, you know, what's coming up, and, you know, and what sort of is out of balance here with you. Maybe there's an aspect to yourself, the feminine aspect, that needs to be discovered. And the guidance says, here's the Four of Pentacles here. And this card, the Four of Pentacles always tells me that because it's Pentacles, it always has to do with material, the material world, your body, grounding, has a lot to do with grounding. In this particular case, this is the Four of Pentacles. In the background, I don't know if you can see it in this card, there's kind of like a bazaar, a marketplace going on back there. And, you know, in my older other self that I used to have, I was a big shopper. I was a big Amazon shopper. And when I'd go away and I'd see all these really cool markets and bazaars and whatever, I was always one that wanted to go and shop and spend all my money. And in this case, this woman is holding on to her purse, and she's like, no, I'm not. I'm holding on to my attachments, right? Doesn't want to let her attachments, her material, whatever, go. So it sounds like there's like something that you're not willing to let go of, but there is a need to go inwards here. And maybe the guidance is saying that you need to let go of something. There's a need for you to let go of something. So we're going to go into the tarot now, the Rider-Waite, and we're going to ask for some clarifications from the tarot. So we're going to start off with the pattern. I want 3 cards to clarify justice for Taurus. 3 cards to tarot. Oh, here we got, you know, I think there's just too many. I'll take 4, 5, but not 6, 7. It's just too many. So let's do 3 cards to clarify the justice. 3 cards to clarify justice. I'm not liking these cards right now. Okay, here we go. We have the Knight of Swords, and we have Judgment in reverse, and I need 1 more card for the pattern that's showing up here. I don't know what it is about these cards, and I could blame myself, I suppose, but they're bigger than, oh, there, this one wants to come out. Okay, 10 of Swords. 10 of, sorry, not swords, wands. The 10 of wands has come out for you. Okay, so we're going to look at those in a minute. I need 3 cards for the Hermit, please. 3 cards for the Hermit Tarot. 3 cards for the, here's one, the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Another card for the Hermit. Another card for the Hermit. Another card for the Hermit for the shadow that is linked. Ooh, got too many here, but I'm going to take this one. I have 2, that's good. So I have the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Emperor card. And the 4 of Pentacles, I need 3 cards to clarify the 4 of Pentacles here. I have, oh, I got 4, so I can take those. The 2 of Pentacles in reverse. I have the 9 of Swords, the Devil, and the 3 of Swords. All right, so I'm looking at this deck, and there are 6, 7, 10 clarifiers here, and I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 swords. 4 swords. Yeah, so I'm feeling like there is sword energy here. And sword energy is very much mental, living in your head energy. Okay, it could be a lot of anxiety, it could be, you know, depression that you're dealing with, and it just could be the spinning of the mind, right? The spinning of the mind. And maybe, you know, sometimes this balance card that's coming out for you for the pattern that's showing up could be, you know, maybe just there's just a lot of mind energy going on for you. So let's see what's going. It starts off with the Knight of Swords. Let's look at the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a very fiery, I mean, you can see this, the red coming off of him. He is the fastest knight in the deck. And for me, the swords, I don't know if I explained it earlier, but in my own healing journey, I do parts work. And parts is, there's different parts. We all have different parts. Everybody has parts. And someone that has complex trauma like myself, they'll be very pronounced, and they'll come out, and I start to communicate with them through my journaling, and that is one way you can start to communicate with your own parts. And I know you've probably heard of inner children or your inner child. That is definitely, you know, some of my parts, and I also have other ones. And so what I've done is I've taken that and I'm going to apply it to my tarot when I read your tarot for you, because we all have parts. And for me, the Knights, all my court cards are parts. And my Knights in particular are the freedom fighters. And they are the ones, this is the adolescent part. This is the one that's fighting for, if you think of an adolescent, I was a teacher for 30 years and I taught high school. So I taught adolescents all my life. And they were very much, they didn't want anybody to control them. And the last person they wanted to control was their teacher, because they got that at home. So they didn't want anybody to control them. And they ran from, they'll do anything to escape their pain, right? So they never wanted to feel, they didn't want emotions. And a lot of times they had, this one looks like could have a bit of anger, right? So I'm seeing that because the swords is all about, you know, your mind, your belief systems, your conditioning, your patternings, there seems to be a part of you, a freedom to escape from, you know, and I think a big part of you tells me that you've been living in your head a lot, but there needs to be a balance, because your head and your mind is not who you are. And these are all the thoughts and the belief systems that we have learned. Everybody else told us about who we were when we were younger, and we take those on. But there's a real drive here. This knight really is motivated, charged to get to who you really are. Because the person that you're telling yourself, Taurus, is not you. You're saying that in your head you're thinking this is who you are, but it's not you. This knight wants to cut through that bullshit. This knight of yours wants to cut through that bullshit. That's the pattern here. Let's cut through this bullshit here, because the pattern here is you're out of balance. You're living from your head, I'm going to say. And the Judgment card comes in. And if you it's in reverse, but let's look at it upright first of all. They have these people that are being reborn, almost coming up from their coffins. So they've been dead for a while, and they're coming up. And what I'm seeing is, and the Judgment card is always a call from within, that wants movement, that wants change. And so, but it's in reverse for you. So there is a real resistance. There is a real resistance from you to find the authentic you, to cut through the bullshit of who you are. So there is a resistance from you, and there is a call, right? There's a pattern to find out who you really are. Like, who are you? It's not the person that you're telling yourself that's living in your head. And because this 10 of Wands has come up, and there is an incredible amount of Wands. For me, is all about creativity. It's all about authenticity. It's all about passion and who you really are. And these Wands, this creativity, wants to come out of you. And we talked about the female and the male aspect of you that is, needs to balance itself out. So when you live in your head, it really is the male. You're living in your ego, which is the male aspect of us. Now, the feminine in us is the creative side. And these Wands right here, you're trying to keep this all down. You're trying to, when I see this card, it reminds me of helium balloons. You know how helium balloons just want to, I remember it was a really windy day, and I bought about 10 helium balloons full of helium, and I'm trying to shove them into my vehicle, and all they wanted to do was to take off on me, right? And so I'm trying to yank at them, and this looks like the same kind of picture where you're yanking at these Wands to keep them down. But Wands want to be free. Wands want to be authentic. Wands want to create. And this is what's happening with you. There's a pattern in you. Your shadow is nudging at you, is wanting to create. Your unconscious, the feminine aspect of you, is wanting to create something, wanting to come up, wanting to be authentic. But you're living in your head and you're blocking all of that. And that is your pattern. Now, the shadow aspect of that is linked to it is, there's a need for you to go inwards. There's a need for you to get stillness in your life. There's a need for you to cut out all the distraction of what's going on in your life. And maybe we'll see what's going on with that, but I'm not sure if you take the time for some stillness in your life. We can be so distracted. We can be caught up in a job that's taking so many hours from us. We're committed to something, a project, and we've been, maybe you are committed to people, just your time for you. You don't have any time for yourself. It's all being dedicated. This is a Pentacles. This is dedicated to some job that you're doing. And there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. And it's coming up as your shadow, because this card is saying, you need to look at this time and this effort that you're dedicated to what you're doing right now. So I don't know what it is right now, but a lot of, where is all your time going right now is the question. Where is it? Where's it all going? Because this stillness that you need to get in contact with, your shadow is not happening, and it needs to happen. And because the Queen of Swords comes in reverse here, And she's in reverse. So we're going to turn her upright, and she is the feminine aspect of herself that's coming up for you. The Queen of Swords is very much the feminine aspect that is grounded in us. And she's not grounded right now. She's ungrounded, which means she's still pretty much hidden in you. The grounded Queen of Swords has a sword, and she's raised it. She can cut through the bullshit. She can cut through and pierce the truth of everything. She is all about authenticity. If there was any queen that's about authenticity, it's this one. And she really is here. She's ungrounded, and so there is a part of you that you really aren't connected to your authenticity and who you are and what you really, really, really want to do. What's your passion? Is it this commitment that you have, that maybe it's a job that you've committed yourself to for all these hours, And sure, there's a part of you, this Emperor is going to come out right now. And look at this guy. He's pretty rigid. He's a number 4. He's masculine energy. And he's saying, this is the masculine energy that's telling you, oh, you need to work. You need to work and work and work, because that's how you're going to get by in life. That's how you're going to get all your money. If you don't work and spend all these hours, this stillness stuff, this bullshit that this lady's telling you right now, it's just bullshit. But I got my queen here, my ungrounded queen, that she says, no. This isn't bullshit. This is cutting through the truth. But he's in charge right now. He's in charge for some reason. And your shadow is to get at the belief system in you, in your head, that tells you that you need to do all this work and work to get ahead. And it's not your passion. It's not your passion. Look at this guy. He has a beautiful crop here. He's spent many hours doing this. It's not his passion. He's not smiling. When you get to the number 8 of Pentacles, the guy's working away and he's content because he's doing what he likes to do. And then 9 comes along in the Pentacles and says, you're going to get abundance from doing what you're wanting to do. And so there really, really is in your shadow, what's coming up for you right now is where does this belief system come in, this Emperor, ego, masculine energy that says you need to work to get money, and you got to put lots of hours in to get ahead. Doesn't matter if you enjoy yourself, because that's not what life is about. But you need to do this job for some reason. You can't let it go. And there's no such thing as following your true passion, who are you, trying to figure that out. That doesn't matter in life. What matters is that you work your ass off and don't get ahead. So where does that belief system come in? And that's what you're asking to figure out, really, to look at, journal about. But before you do that, let's look at what the tarot says we need to do, because we need some guidance here, because we've established what our pattern is. We now know what shadow aspects coming out for us. And so it's very interesting, because the 4 of Pentacles is what showed up. We talked about that, how she's holding on to this money, this attachment. So I'm seeing that there is a belief system here where in order to get money, you need to work all the time, because maybe it's all about money. There's 2 ends of the spectrum here. You can work so much and you don't make that much money, but you just keep working and working. Or maybe you make lots of money. You're one of those money collectors, I call them, and you hold on to your money, but it's because there's a lot of fear there. There's a real fear that you might not have this money anymore. So that's very interesting. There's 2 ends of the spectrum with that. So the first card that comes out for the tarot's guidance is you know, it's in reverse, and there is a decision for you to make. There's a decision for you to make. And the 8 here, the lemniscate, that this juggler, and the juggler, by the way, he's unbalanced here. He's not on 2 feet, so he's unbalanced. But there is a decision to be made here, you know, and it's about your body, it's about material goods, it's pentacles, and but it's in reverse. So there is a decision what needs to be made, and I'm imagining it's because of this amount of time that you're dedicated to something right now, because it's taking up all your time. And so there's a decision for you to be made, is what the tarot is pointing out here. So much so, unfortunately, that it is, you know, it's really keeping you up at night. It's really causing a lot of mental anguish. You are spinning in your head, and it's really causing you a lot of anguish. And this is the swords that's coming up in here. And I know I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like, you know, that you want some freedom. You want freedom from your mind. You want freedom from the mind spinning of what's going on here. Because I don't think you know what to do. I mean, if you did, this would be in the upright, but you have a decision to make, and you're very blocked, and you don't know what to do. There's some, maybe a bit of resistance too, of even trying to figure out what's going on. And the devil is also here for us. And a lot of people are really scared of this devil card, but the devil card for me is that it really is a card for me that you're giving up. I'm almost going to say sometimes to the point of maybe there's a lot of depression that's been setting in. There's a lot of anxiety. And it's almost like you've given up in that you've said, this is just the way my life is. It's just the hand that I've been dealt in life. And that's what the devil card for me is saying, is that you've given up. This could mean, you know, people like to interpret this as a lot of toxicity in it. Yeah, it could be. It could be you surrounded by, I mean, you could be in a job with a toxic boss that you hate going to, or colleagues that you don't get along with or you don't like, and you're having to walk into this every single day. But you've just given up to the situation, was what it means. You've just sort of, I don't want to use the word accepted, but it's just, this is just the way it is. And it could involve a lot of addiction too. So you could be, I mean, only you know, everybody has an addictions. Only you know what's preventing you from going inwards. You know, if you are working a lot of hours, that's an addiction. Workaholism is addiction. And so only you know. But I'm seeing here that you've given up and you're not really wanting to face it. The last card that comes out for you is the 3 of Swords. And I know people look at that and just see a lot of pain. And it doesn't mean pain's coming your way. It doesn't mean there's something painful in your life that's going to happen. But what it does mean is that you need to start feeling. You need to start feeling. You need to get back in your body, and you need to start feeling. And you can only do this if you take some time to yourself. So there is a real need here in your life for stillness, quiet time to yourself. And that is the only way that you can do your shadow work. And there is a situation here that you need to look at, and you need to make a decision. And you know, right now you're kind of put it on hold, and you've just accepted that this is the way it is, right? This is the way that I'm going to live my life, and or this is just the hand I've been dealt. And so the videos that I'm going to suggest for you at the end, from my other channel, Carol Cares, I'm going to give you, I'm going to suggest some videos on grounding. Now the video that I want to suggest in particular, it's a video on learning how to ground your mind, And then learning how to ground into your body. So the mind is going to stop all this spinning and this keeping you up at night right here. And then it's going to teach you how to get into your body. And once it gets, and that's talking about, you know, getting into your body means you need some stillness in your life for sure. And that's going to help you get in touch with, because once you stop, once you get still, and once you start getting into your body, and people think, well, grounding is going to make me feel zen. Well, I'm going to tell you that a lot of times it's anything but zen, because emotions are going to start coming up that you've been pushing down all these time, you know, and there's grief in there, there's shame in there, there's fear in there, there's frickin' anger in there, you know. Maybe you need to get angry at somebody or something, and you know, especially when you got a belief system that tells you that you got to work all these damn hours to get ahead, you know, Mr. Emperor over here. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with a grounding video, and good luck on this decision, and I hope you can find some stillness for yourself, especially during this busy month. So take care, and I'll talk to you later. This is done.